Yo, yo, yo. What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Monday. Welcome to KVOV 89.9. And welcome to the Stimulus with Ciore and Jonathan. We are super excited that you're here.
What's good? What's good? What's good? What's going on, family? It's your boy Jonathan, and yeah, welcome back. We here excited for another Monday with us, the Stimulus, and we about to get it going.
We missed y'all.
Missed y'all a lot. Missed y'all a lot. I woke up in the middle of the night thinking about y'all, man. I could not wait to get on here and speak to the people.
Okay, that's a little far. That's a little much. No, I'm just kidding. So,
Is that a little far? I can't just be thinking about jumping on the radio and talking about the Stimulus.
Oh, I thought you was thinking about people specifically.
Nah.
You know, everybody who showed up last week, you was thinking about all of them individually.
Every one of y'all. One of y'all
well,
have a special place.
Y'all. Yeah.
Have a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
You know?
How was your weekend?
My weekend was a lot of fun.
Uh-oh.
I had a lot of fun this weekend.
What'd you do, John?
I did a little bit of this. I did a little bit of that. Yeah. I went on a 10-mile hike out in Arkansas. Went to Devil's Den. It was certainly a challenge. It was a lot of fun. And then on Saturday or Sunday, I had a little lituation at the crib. Had a brunch, which was pretty dope. Brunch at John's was literally what it was called. So it was a good time. Had some people come in town. My second little sister, Asha. Shout out to Asha that came in town. She's in OKC, so she's I guess little sister by association. She's my little sister's best friend, but we grew up together, so I had to show her some love when she came in town, and it was a good time. Well,
good.
Yeah, we had some shrimp and grits, made by me.
Had say who cooked? I did.
I cooked. I cooked. Had a little bit of that. Had champagne for days, so it was a good time.
It was a good time.
I enjoyed myself.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. I, on the other hand, I worked and I relaxed. And I don't know if you can work and relax at the same time, but I definitely did. Like, it was very relaxing to just focus on saying no to everything, focus on, just like sitting in my bed. I did have a little wine. I cooked a lot this weekend, more than usual. Actually, I hadn't cooked in a long time.
What did you cook this weekend?
Oh man, I had made like this creamy lemon salmon pasta that was really good. And then the next day I converted it into a salad because I had found like this recipe. I got pictures for you.
You have pictures but no leftovers.
I have pictures.
But nothing.
Don't sound so disappointed, John.
A picture may or may not
Don't
suffice.
Sound so disappointed, but no, I was able to get a lot of good work done. One of the things that I really value as a business consultant, as someone who enjoys just process and operation, I was just cranking out processes for work, like those things that you have to do to like really be heads down while no one's asking you any questions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you can try to do it while you're at the office, but it's like you're going to start and stop.
Mm-hmm.
And so just being able to like get that off my to-do list, something that I've been like focused on for a very long time, but I haven't been able to crank things out. It was so nice. Plus, it was raining. I love the rain.
Mm-hmm.
I ate good. The rain was good. I watched some good shows and got some good work done. So I'm really pleased with it. I'm really pleased with the weekend.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Kiori's real smart, y'all.
Thanks, John. So tell us, what do you have for us that's good today?
I always got something good. And so to be specific, I want to tell you all a little story about someone that built a $13 million business selling undies by subscription. Now, it's a little bit of a story, but there's also some lessons in there that I just wanted to talk to you about, like how he was able to build that business up. So let's talk about Anthony Combs, either Combs or Coombs. It's two O's. So it's one of those two. So Anthony Combs knew he never wanted to work for someone else by the age of 16 when his mother, a single parent, got laid off from her job with the state of Florida after the governor changed offices. So his family had to go on public assistance until his mom found another job in retail. Then that experience made him realize at an early age that he wanted to be his own boss. I remember thinking right then, I never want to put my future in someone else's hands. Anthony recalls. Entrepreneurship turned out to be the right path for Mr. Combs, who today, at the age of 40, runs Splendies, a Los Angeles-based company that sells subscription boxes of undies for curvy women. He started the business with $500 in 2013 after a cousin told him that plus-size women had limited shopping options. Combs says the business, which brought in $13 million in annual revenue for 2020 in terms of profit, is on track for 17 to 18 million for 2021. Shout out to him. He gets things done by using automation such as chat boxes, email marketing for tasks such as customer service, social media, influencer marketing, and web development. Also relies on a team of an extended team for contractors. Now, here's the real juicy part of the story. So here are some of the strategies that help Combs build his business to 7-figure revenue. So here's what he accredited to: stay open to new ideas, find low-cost ways to test your idea, cultivate patience, get a PhD in what your customers like, and don't go at it alone. So that's just a little something that I thought was extra special coming here on this Monday. It's a nice little story talking about one thing that you love to say is solve a problem.
Yeah.
Make a decision, solve a problem, and then go at it, and then you can see some real fruitful results.
Because the first thing that I was thinking about is how often do most people buy new underwear? So if you
I need some new underwear right now.
That's all I was thinking. Underwear subscription, I could really use
last
that.
thing you think about.
But when I heard it, I was like, yes, I have a need for that.
Mm-hmm.
How much it costs?
Right.
Yes, I have a need for that.
Right.
And I feel like those are the best products where someone's not trying to determine if it's needed. They're like, yeah, actually, yeah, that's a problem. It's a problem that's not a priority, but it could be for the right price.
Absolutely. I think when you're able to create a problem, people didn't even realize it was a problem. It's like, actually, you know what? I do need a subscription.
Those are the best.
Those are the best ones, and you have that recurring revenue. You got that influx of people. Is when you can get people on subscription.
No one's gonna be disappointed when they get some new drawers.
When you get some new drawers in the mail, pack in the mail, straight out the box, still got the creases on them.
Right?
Does it get better than that?
I think not.
If you start every month with some new underwear, how good are you gonna feel about yourself?
You know what? I'm gonna feel amazing. Actually, I'm gonna have to look that up.
Like, what's your highlight today, Ciore? Well, I just got some new undies. Shout out my dog.
You're right. You're right. Okay. Well, with that being said, I'm excited for the show today.
I'm excited too. We got a really special guest joining us, folks. Let's talk a little bit about who we have on this show today. We have Miss Britt Parrish, a Detroit native who recently moved to Tulsa through the Tulsa Remote Program. She's a college dropout turned full-time entrepreneur and plant enthusiast. We love our plants. Her newest business venture is social media coaching and management, which specializes in helping small brands and businesses grow and elevate their online presence with focus on content, aesthetic, and mindset. She has plans to open up a Black-owned plant space here in Tulsa in the next coming years. So very, very interesting guest. I think she's going to be able to kind of like dip into the parts of entrepreneurship that we don't talk about a lot, that we could even learn from ourselves, and that's social media. How to really tackle that, how to influence it, and really implement that into some success in your business.
So, with that being said, we are going to get ready to go to a quick break. And when we come back, meaning don't go anywhere, when we come back, we will be diving right into her story and making sure that you guys are going to have just as good as time listening as we are going to have exploring all the ins and outs of it. But right now, y'all are listening to KBLB 89.9 FM, where we are telling stories our way. We will be back just real quick. Don't go anywhere.
Tulsa Transit is excited to introduce the Route 969 Workforce Express Network. The new Highway 169 Corridor Job Shuttle, WEN, is a fixed route service offering access from North Tulsa and Turley. Stops include Macy's, Amazon, Whirlpool, and Port of Catoosa. Save time and money when you ride the WEN Route 969. And for your protection, buses are cleaned daily. Visit tulsatransit.org for more details.
Advertise in the Tulsa Black-Owned Business Guide. It's a monthly publication reaching all of Oklahoma and beyond, giving exclusive content about your business and many businesses that are connected to you. Full page and half pages are available. Purchase and artwork are due on the 25th of each month. Visit us online right now at www.tulsabobn.com for more details, or email us right now at tulsabobn@gmail.com for pricing. If your credit starts with a 3, 4, 5, or 6, this is for you. Did you know that it's costing you to have bad credit? You can't get qualified for that house or apartment and you're paying high interest rates, along with paying high car insurance, and it may be costing you that job that you really want. What are you waiting on? Take more of a holistic approach. Pick up the phone and call the Credit Shiro at 832-642-1554 or text CAMP to 76626. With 13 amazing services, we restore and repair generations to come. Once again, call the Credit Shiro at 832-642-1554 or text CAMP to 76626. If you know better, you do better. Only the Credit Shiro can help you to save the day.
Hello, Tulsa. This is Janetta Toles with Sunday Dinner and More by Janet, your weekend soul spot. Every Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. We're located 531 East Apache in the historic Apache Circle Center. Of course, during these times, it's carry-out only, but you can call 918-951-5143. That's Sunday Dinner and More by Janet.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Did y'all miss us? Was that a longer commercial break than normal?
Yep. Yes, it was.
Yes, we are back. We are back. We are back with Britt Parrish. Britt, what's going on? How you feeling?
Hey, I feel so good. Thank you guys for having me on the show. I'm excited to be on with you both. So appreciate y'all. How are you feeling?
I feel excellent.
I need to bring my energy up. I had a little kickback yesterday too.
Yeah, tell us about it.
I thought we was invited.
Y'all were? Where y'all at?
We didn't get no follow-up. I'm just playing.
You know what, low-key, I was supposed to go to John's brunch, but I did not have the energy. And I would have just told John to go ahead and migrate to mine because mine was in the evening. But yeah, it was a big deal. We had 2 groups of 20 people each. So it was just a lot of energy exerted. I ain't got none, but I'm gonna bring it today.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
So what's your shirt say? What's it say? Heavy on the protecting my peace.
Yes.
I like it.
Thank you.
What's that mean to you?
Oh my goodness. Protecting peace is everything because, child, people will try and come and mess up your energy. And, it's just like, I have to make sure that I'm protecting my energy. I'm protecting my peace. So good.
Good. I love that. I feel like protecting your peace is important.
It is.
I mean, it contributes to a lot of different things.
Absolutely.
Productivity,
Absolutely.
just way of life, all those things. I love it. I support it.
Yes.
I might need a little shirt myself.
Yeah, I actually got it from a vendor. She is a Black entrepreneur out here. So I found it on when we were at First Fridays out here. Mm-hmm. She was just on the street and I was like, oh my gosh, I saw somebody else with this shirt and I've been looking for you. So it was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
Absolutely.
It was meant to be.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about how important it is that us Black entrepreneurs support other Black entrepreneurs.
Oh my gosh, it's so important. It is so important. So I'm originally from Detroit, right?
Yep.
But like in San Antonio, there weren't a lot of Black entrepreneurs. And so coming out here, I was like, man, like I feel like everybody like supports everybody like in our culture. Mm-hmm. And I love that because I feel like you can come out here as a Black entrepreneur and like really make something shake. And like people, back you up. But yeah, no, I think it's very important, like for our culture, especially like Black entrepreneurs, not just people working in general, but like Black entrepreneurs to support each other because one, like we need to keep the money circulating within our culture.
For sure.
We give it away outside and it's like, well, what are we doing for each other? So very, very important.
Circulate that Black dollar. I love it.
Come on, yes.
I love it. So tell us a little bit about the moment that you decided you wanted to be a full-time entrepreneur.
Ooh, so I've been an entrepreneur for going on 6 years, but full-time for 3. And I got started in network marketing, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And it taught me everything really about entrepreneurship. I guess I had always been an entrepreneur. I had a couple online businesses that I really didn't see even as a business. It was more so like a hobby that was paying me. So I always had this mindset. But when I got into network marketing, it was like, okay, game changer. And then I used to live in Dallas. And so right before I moved to San Antonio, I was working a job in healthcare. I was doing 9 to 5, 9 to 9, you know how it goes. Just working a lot of hours. And that had been my background for a minute. And so I was like, when we moved to San Antonio, it was a moment of I can either like take the business that I'm doing, like, you know, all the way, or, you know, just continue to have the safety net of having a job. And I was like, I mean, what do I have to lose? Like, I'm young. If it doesn't work out, I can always go back and get a job. So I was like, I'm going to take the safety net away. And when we moved to San Antonio, I just didn't get a job. And I was like, I'm going to take this business like all the way. And so in doing that, that was a journey, a lot of sacrifices, because obviously the money wasn't coming in the same way when I had a job, but it allowed me to really see like what I had, you know, within myself to really push it. And ever since then, I just never looked back. I never had to get a job. And that was 3 years ago. So.
And you keep saying we. Who's we?
We is me and my ex. I'm so used to saying we.
Oh,
yeah,
shucks.
I need to say me, right? Yeah, that's me and my ex.
I mean, if it's part of your story, it's part of your story.
No, it is, because we did it together. We moved together and like just ran that business together, sacrificed together. It was a lot. So in my mind, it's always we, because it is our story. But yeah.
Listen, I had a similar story. I had a similar story where I was in Boston working a great job and decided, okay, we were doing it while I was working, just like in the evening times. And then like we were expanding and it was exciting. And then it was like, all right, we're about to go on an adventure. And so I completely left Boston, completely left my job, like all these things, and moved to Dallas as well to be a full-time entrepreneur. And then ended up discovering that the market was different. We were selling like home cleaning as a fringe benefit for companies. And like while that works with like tech companies,
right,
it doesn't really work in Dallas the same way, because everybody's paying somebody a little bit to clean their house. It's a whole different situation.
That's true.
But, you know, you get down there and it's like, okay, we're dating, but I'm not sure I really like you. You know, it's like, I'm not sure I really want to be in this anymore. And then it was like this whole thing of, okay, do I want to build a business with someone that I feel like I don't want to build it with anymore? And then it's like, do you get out while it's soon? Do you get out, you know, later? It's like, what was I willing to go through as an individual, as a woman who is becoming, and as someone who had completely like let go of my own safety net. It's like, I'm not working anymore. I'm running through my savings. I'm doing this whole thing that I don't want to be in anymore. And so I'm not saying my story is like yours exactly, but it took me a long time to kind of just own that, like, whether we did this part together, it's still my story. You know, it's like I was still running a business like with my co-founder, you know, and it's like just I had to go through this situation of like, how do I reposition myself to like be empowered by my story versus giving credit to somebody else who was a part of the journey, but like they're not here anymore.
Right.
So anyway, I was like, who is we?
Yeah, I have to catch myself.
You speak French now.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, moving to San Antonio really showed me what we were made of. But then moving here to Tulsa, because I moved here alone, really showed me what I was made of. Because my social media coaching business, I just started in February. So kind of coming out of the pandemic, I started this business, and it's literally just taken off and carried me, you know, since being out here. So it's pretty dope.
I love it. I love it. What was it like having to like release that safety net? Like, how did you feel?
Ooh, it's the scariest thing. Low key, like, let me tell y'all a story. So when we got to San Antonio, like I said, I quit my job, and there's this feeling of anxiety that you will get of quitting a job because you're so conditioned to think that you need one. And I knew I didn't need one. Like, I knew I was sitting on a lot of talent just like within myself, but it's just that feeling of scared, like you don't know when your next paycheck is coming. Like, entrepreneurship is that, right? Like, you don't know when your next paycheck is coming sometimes. So it was that feeling, and I literally succumbed to that feeling because I ended up applying to a job at Ross across the street from our apartment building at the time. Went through orientation, like all of that. In my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm just about to get the discount here. Like, I'm not really trying to, you know, but I ended up applying for the job. They gave me the job, gave me my name badge, which is, you know, the kind of like with the magnet on the back. And the first day they wanted me to come in, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. It was like for stocking. And I was like I literally woke up at like 4 and just kind of like laid there and contemplated like if I wanted to go in, like what am I doing? Like this is the reason that I quit my job and said I wasn't going to go back to having one. Like what am I doing? So I ended up not going in that day, and I keep the badge, like I still have it to this day. I keep the name badge on my refrigerator as a reminder, like you never need to get a job if you don't want to, ever, right? Like don't allow the anxiety of like not knowing what is going to happen next, like force you into like getting a job that you really don't want, and it's not going to take you where you want to go. So I keep that name badge. But yeah, it's scary. Like I'm not going to lie, it's scary. A lot of sacrifices were made. Like I told you before, like we were like living we were living in a way that most people would not. So we would have like eviction notices on our door every month. We knew it was going to get paid, but we weren't going to pay it on time. So eviction notices, like we were trying to figure out like if we were going to feed the dog before us, because it was just sometimes it was just like pizza and Pop-Tarts was our diet. Like we were literally just sacrificing a lot to not have to go back to a job, but really just give ourselves the time to push our business to the next level. And so we did that for like a year. We didn't travel. We didn't do anything. Like it was literally just like bills, little food here and there, and like getting to like events and stuff for like the business that we were in. But it took us like, I mean, it really, like I said, it showed me what I was made of for sure. Because again, nope, I don't think most people on a normal level would live like that. They would probably like fall into like, oh, I'm just about to go back and get a job. Like I'm scared to have an eviction notice on my door. And like, I mean, I learned about, you got 30 days before they take you to court, like just in doing that. So we became like not comfortable, but just like, okay, it's going to get paid when it gets paid. So, but yeah, it definitely shows you what you're made of, taking the safety net away. Like I won't encourage everybody to take it away unless your situation is set up. Like don't follow the journey like mine. It was just my own journey that I needed to, kind of do, because I come from a lifestyle of being helped all the time. And I just wanted to see like if I could just do it without the help. So
That's powerful.
Yeah.
I feel like there's so much power in that. I love to hear that, because it's like as an entrepreneur, you have to believe in yourself more than you might believe in what is rational or what makes the most sense.
Absolutely.
You gotta go against the grain in order for your dream to come true. You gotta sacrifice, and you gotta be willing to say like, no, I believe in this thing so much, it doesn't matter what this temporary situation is, because I know if I keep going, then I will get out of this, and I'll reap benefits far greater than anything I could, than any regular check may give me for right now.
Absolutely.
I know I can see the future.
Absolutely.
I know what God has in store for me, and it's great. It's powerful.
Yeah, you got to keep that vision in front of you for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what was that business that y'all were working on together?
So it's a network marketing business called Planet Marketing. It's actually still in business, and I'm still in it actually. So Planet Marketing and Teletravel, it's a network marketing business where you can basically have your own home-based travel business, and you can also build a team of other people that want to do that the same. So did that for now it's going on 5 years, but because of that business allowed for like more time freedom and financial freedom. So just started opening up a whole bunch of different businesses, dog sitting, plant business, and like I said, now the social media coaching business too. So the time freedom is everything to me. It honestly wasn't, I mean, of course it's about the money. I'm not going to say it's not, but like it was a time freedom for me to be able to do things that I wanted to do, and pursue other passions that I've always had. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. What do you feel like you're most passionate about?
Helping people.
Okay.
Absolutely. At the core of anything that I do, it's helping people. I just want to see people succeed I usually want to see people succeed more than they want to see themselves succeed. I see more in people than what they typically see, but I just want to help people like experience what it's like to live a life that you don't need a vacation from, because that's what I get to experience every day. Like just waking up when I want to, doing what I want to do, like making connections that help me further along in life. But really just like not worrying. Like I'm really big on like manifestation and like all of that kind of stuff, and just like my steps being, ordered. But the life that I live now compared to like what I was living back then when I was working a job, living paycheck to paycheck, like not super happy. I loved what I did, but I wasn't super happy with what I was doing. I feel like a lot of people live that life where they're just kind of settling, and it's unfortunate because we only get one life. And I feel like you should just like be able to do whatever you want and, follow your dreams. So I get to do that, and I want other people to experience that too.
I love it.
I think a question that I have,
Yeah.
I think that's really beautiful, and I think a lot of people aspire to do that,
Sure.
And I know for me, it definitely can be real powerful, especially if you know what to do with that time.
Sure.
Because I think one of the hardest things about like leaving your 9 to 5 to pursue full-time entrepreneurship is like no one is keeping you accountable for how
Right.
you're spending your time. Like
Exactly.
sometimes I will wake up in the morning and be like, so what am I about to do today? Knowing I need to build a business. But it was
Right.
just like, oh my gosh, I did this yesterday and the day before, and so it's like
Yes.
it is exciting and it's rewarding, but it also requires like a whole level of discipline.
Absolutely.
And so, thinking about those things and then hearing from you say, you started off with one business and then you just started making multiple businesses,
Right.
what's kind of your thought process around creating multiple businesses as
Mhm.
opposed to just like really focusing on a few?
Oh, that's such a good question because most people are like, you can't be a jack of all trades and a master of none, right? So that's kind of like the thing. But with me, because actually all of my businesses are online, so they kind of work all in conjunction with each other, right? Like if I do dog sitting, I can still do other businesses because I'm literally just watching a dog. It doesn't really require attention the same way like another business will. So some of them kind of like they're being worked at the same time. The plant business is just on my mind, but it definitely is going to happen. But the social media coaching business is different too because it's just me giving my time and energy for that hour for whatever, like to coach that person. And then management is the same thing. So they kind of all work, I won't say in conjunction with each other, but they kind of just all have like a flow that's not like requiring like a lot of my physical presence. It's just I'm online and I can kind of multitask and do things.
So I do think like leveraging time is like the most important thing,
Absolutely.
especially as an entrepreneur. Like the
Yes.
goal is to not have to be present, because
Oh,
it's the
yes.
financial freedom, but it's the time freedom too.
Absolutely.
Like I don't want to be pressed by your urgent situation just
Right.
because you have access to me.
Right,
It's
right.
like that's always important.
Yes.
I know like when I was working at one of my jobs, they always used to say like a failure to plan on your part doesn't constitute a sense of urgency on mine. I was like, I used to hate that, but now that I'm in this position, I'm like,
That's facts,
They must have
honestly.
drilled that in you.
they did, and let me tell you something. I live by it. Like, I live
I
by
love
it.
it.
But one of the things that I think about when you have multiple different businesses
Mhm.
is all of your businesses have different brands, and
Right.
so how do you position yourself to be
Mhm.
able to do all of these businesses, but not get caught up with people are not going to know me for anything specific?
Right. Good question. So when I was doing the network marketing business, that's pretty much all of what people knew about me, right? Like that's all I was putting out there. That's how I was positioning myself on social media. And then when I branched out to do the social media coaching business, it was still people knew that was what I was doing. And I would get questions like, "Hey, are you still doing that?" Because I was putting out a lot of energy on the social media coaching and management part. So it is a level of like positioning, right? Like I don't want to be one of those brands where it's like I'm super confused about what you do. I'm very strategic in terms of like I may not put that I do dog sitting. I'll tell you personally if I know you have a dog, or I may put it in like a certain group that just has like all dog owners, but I'm not going to put it out there like on my main page. It's just something I don't know. That's a good question.
No, I think
No,
that's
because
how
I'm
people get
like,
caught
yeah,
up, right?
no,
Yeah, I
absolutely.
think about
Like,
the same thing.
yeah, you don't want people to be confused about what you do because there's a lot of people that will do like a ton of things, and you're like,
So what?
yeah, like which one? Yeah, I see that all the time, and so I really just try and like focus on the one and keep the other ones like as like added bonuses. So in conversations with people, right, is really where I kind of like plug a certain business depending on what the conversation is about. But on my social media presence, it's the social media coaching aspect and the management because that business is just it needs all of like the energy and time right now to get it up and running. The network marketing business, although it's still like being built and everything like that, it's been like 5 years that it's been just out there, me putting it out there. Um, so yeah, but no, I think that's very important. Like you said, you don't want your brand or even brand identity to be confusing to other people to be like, okay, so what is it that you actually do? So I just put one out there right now.
I guess my final kind of follow up on this whole thought process
Yeah.
is like, what are some of the consequences of people not being able to like associate what you do whenever you're doing a whole lot of things? Like, because what comes to my mind is if you are doing lots of different things, and I'm not talking about you, I'm talking
Yeah, yeah,
about
yeah.
me. It's like I got a lot going on,
Right.
and they're all very different because I think as humans we're very dynamic people
Sure.
who have lots of interests.
Absolutely.
But I'm also like, if you start pushing all of them at once, like, don't you run the risk of like people maybe feeling like you can't give them the value in one specific thing because like your time must be split? Because everyone doesn't understand how entrepreneurs move. Everyone
Right.
doesn't understand leveraging your time. It's
Right.
like, I'm paying you a lot of money over here, but you're also telling me you can do this.
Right.
So what are some of the consequences that you see to people knowing that you have a variety of businesses and not just one?
I think it's like, I know one thing for sure in terms of like me personally, when I see other people, and what I've been told actually too, is just a level of focus that they don't have. Right. And so it's like scatterbrain. It's like squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Like you see one thing, you just want to kind of like pursue it. And you don't want it to be that. You don't want it to be where it's like you're just lacking a level of focus because you're starting up all of these different things. So I know that is one, but two is also, can you be trusted? Because it's like, are you going to jump to the next business when I'm trying to like, have you help me with this one? Like, because it seems like you're just doing a lot. Do you have time for me and what I'm asking you to do in this particular business? So level of focus and lack of trust, I would say, can result in just doing multiple things.
That
But it's all
trust
about how
is,
you brand, though, honestly,
yeah.
too, right? Like how you put yourself out there. It shouldn't be like one post is like, I'm doing social media coaching, and one post is like, I have a plant business. One, like it's a flow. I feel like, and a
Yeah.
balance to it is how you're like putting yourself out there. So it should be like whatever the focus, whatever the main business is, right? Because wherever your focus goes, your energy flows. So you're going to have one that kind of overtakes the other ones anyway, naturally. Like
Yeah.
you can't give 20, 20, 20, 20, percent of yourself to each one. It's going to be one that you love more than the others.
Sometimes it's about the rollout too. It's like you're rolling
Absolutely.
out one for a few months, then you
Yeah.
can like layer on the next one,
Yes.
then the next one, versus trying to
Exactly.
like introduce them all at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. What were you thinking, John?
It just, what you were saying, Britt, about the trust and the focus really made me think about my first partnership that I had in real estate. I was working with a really smart dude, very talented, but it felt like every time we talked, he was telling me about something else he was involved in. I'm like, okay, bro. So I felt like I had to ask him several times, like, so where does this fall in your priorities?
Right.
I need this to be up there.
Right,
Don't tell me that, oh, you're like, you're doing this, you're doing that. And oh yeah, I also do real estate. Like, I didn't want it to feel like you're like, real estate can sound sexy, just saying like, this is what I do, this is what I'm involved in, but I want this to be something you're actually passionate about, so it's like, that's that could come into like when you pick a partner, when you pick somebody that is like you're going into a new endeavor with, or someone that you're maybe you're trusting them with your money, for you're investing in their business. And
Absolutely.
you're like, okay, but if I invest whatever this is, these resources into you, what's my return going to look like? I want to know, if you are focused on several different things, where does this fall? So I think there should always be like clear communication as to what you have going on.
Yeah, you have to drip it to people. Like you can't just like come out of the, and be like, I do this, 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 and this. When people ask me like what I do, I'll say like I have a few businesses, but my main one is social media coaching right now. If we get into a deeper conversation where you're asking me about the other businesses, and I feel it's appropriate to kind of like tell you where you wouldn't be confused or feel like, where's her level of focus, and I will. But it's all about gauging, honestly. Like you have to gauge the conversation. You have to gauge the amount of promo that you're putting out there about whatever business it is too. Because like on your profile, like it looks clear as day that you do real estate and then the radio. Ciore, like the radio for sure. So I mean, you guys are doing a good job in terms of like positioning yourself in what you guys do, what I know you for. So yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit more about your life as a brand manager, focusing on social media. What does that look like, and what value do you provide to those that have been working with you?
Oh yeah, so it's crazy days every day, because right now I do social media management, so actually posting and taking control of like other people's social media. I do that for 7 clients right now. And then on the coaching aspect, so I also coach people on basically what I'm also offering I will do for people. I would rather coach people on like how to do something like, it's like the quote where they say, if you teach a person how to fish, you can feed them for a lifetime, rather than like helping them do it. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, so it's every day, nonstop something, but coaching and management, it's the management part is a big deal because it's a convenience factor, right? There are people that want to focus on their business and they can't think of anything else. Like they just want to focus on the business aspect because there's a lot of things that go into business, especially if you're a solopreneur. You're doing shipping, you're doing emails, you're doing, administration, like you're doing
That
everything.
word you just used though, I feel like
Shipping.
it just solopreneur.
Oh,
I feel like it
solopreneur.
just needed a little emphasis. But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, solopreneur, like you're a one man,
Mm-hmm.
show. So you do everything. I'm a solopreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually I want to build out a team where I can just delegate different things of what I do on an everyday basis to everybody. So yeah, solopreneur, you're doing everything within your business. You're the administrative, you're the, doing emails, calls, shipping, like orders, like all of that, whatever it is that you're doing. But it's a convenience factor for someone to be able to focus solely on their business and whatever they need to do on the logistic aspect of that, while they still want a presence online to bring more awareness to their brand. So I help them do that on a management aspect. But like I said, on the coaching aspect, I'm teaching them and giving them the direction that they're looking for as to how to grow their brand rather than like doing it for them. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So how did you get into being a social media manager?
So I've been on social media since I started on Instagram. I remember a time when Facebook would only allow you on Facebook when you had to have a college email. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't go to college, so I couldn't get on Facebook, and I was doing it on Instagram, and that was like over 10 years ago. And I understood the power of it when I was seeing these people that were like making money just doing whatever they were passionate about, like being an influencer or whatever their brand or business. And I was like, man, like I need to kind of study this for myself so that I can be able to make money. I was tired of working a job. I was like, I want to be able to make money and wake up and do what I want the same way they look like they're doing on Instagram too. So fast forward to this year, coming out of COVID and everything like that, I was like, I have so many people that continue to ask me about social media because they see how I've grown other businesses on social media. Maybe I should just make a business as to how to do this. Like clearly, I think people would pay me if they're asking, and I'm giving it away for free. So it came through on February of this year, where I was just like literally 2 weeks. I'll say this: 2 weeks before I started my business, it was a pure struggle. It was like, okay, the residuals from our other business, they're fluctuating. I don't know what's going to happen. Like we're having like some financial struggles because the travel industry, like, definitely took a hit. So I'm like, okay, we need to figure out something. So I was having a conversation with my mom and telling her like, the same stuff. And she told me something like super profound, and I'll never forget it. She said, you are sitting on too much talent to ever worry about making money and ever worry about like having to get a job or anything like that if you don't want to. And she reminded me of that. And I was like, man, like, and I just kind of sat there with my ideas and I was like, I'm just going to start a business. It literally always happens this way. I'm like, I'm just going to start a business, and just kind of threw it out there and just like learned as I went. So I'm still learning as I'm going, but it's allowed me to move here, get the place of my dreams out here and everything like that. So it started in February. Really just with the notion of, if I'm coming out of COVID with ideas and, things that I want to start businesses with, I'm sure other people are, and they may not know how to grow or brand themselves online. So I'm always going to have clients. And I was like, well, I need to just do it because there's people that are just waiting for me to start a business where I can help them brand and grow their online business as well. So that's how it started.
That's dope. Mom is always gonna bring it back,
Man,
isn't
she?
What?
Oh gosh,
You were
I needed that. I needed to hear that.
Talent.
Yeah.
To be worried about getting. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Shout out to Mom.
For real.
Okay. So, and you alluded to this a little bit. So tell us a little bit more about how the pandemic impacted your businesses.
So the network marketing and travel business, with COVID happening, obviously nobody was traveling.
Mm-hmm.
So that definitely took a hit on the travel business aspect, but we also had the network marketing side where that's like the team building aspect. And so that honestly sustained us. Like there are people that were like kind of worried about their jobs and things like that. Like our residuals pretty much stayed the same. They fluctuated a little bit, but it was still just a scary time for us, like me and my ex as entrepreneurs, because I was like, man, like we don't have travel, like the income from booking travel. We don't have that right now. We're literally just, going off of the building a team. And so when you're building a team in network marketing, you have to understand that people are going to fall off. And if people are falling off of the team, your residual income can fluctuate. So it was just taking like these kind of like dips where one month it'd be like really, really low. And then next month it'd kind of like go back to where it was. But in that happening, like we got back to a situation where it was like, okay, now we're getting behind on bills. Like it's just too much. It's too stressful. And so I was just, like I said, I'm trying to figure out what to do about it. And I was like, I mean, I don't want to get a job. And truth be told, they're probably not even hiring right now. They're letting people go because of COVID. So, what can I do to bring in more income? And so that's where the business, like I said, just kind of was birthed, because I was just thinking about people that were also like wanting to start businesses because they either lost their job, they were inspired by, the things that were happening during COVID, but they're like, I just want to start a business, and just didn't know what to do with that idea. Like didn't know how to, bring it to like fruition in terms of growing it online. Because COVID should have showed all of us, like if you do not have something for yourself, you're not in a good position, because your job could be taken away, just like that, without you even knowing, or it, you having anything to do with it. But two, if you're not online, because all these brick and mortars, started closing down too. If you're not online, then you're really not in a good position either. Like you need to have an online presence so you can reach a broader audience.
So how have you seen social media really turn around brick and mortar businesses?
So brick and mortar, I say, like, unless you're like a national brand, like if you're a brick and mortar, like in your own city, it's really just going to be people that kind of see it, right? Like you're not online. It's just like, if they pass it, okay, like I know this business is here. But online, it allows for not only like people like locally, but like statewide, nationwide, worldwide, for you to be able to see like that business, that brand exists. So having a brick and mortar is cool. Like, I mean, nothing wrong with it. I want to open up a brick and mortar as well, but you also have to have that online piece. Like it's just a non-negotiable in this day and age. It really is. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So what are some of the things that brick and mortar specifically can do? Because if I think I work a lot with brick and mortars, like in my day to day, and whether it's helping folks to scale, whether it's helping them get more processes in place, or just for people to know their specific story, it's real hard for brick and mortar sometimes to know how to become relevant in a space, especially if they're selling a product like, I don't know, like
Underwear.
welding, not underwear, like welding equipment, or like microphones, or
Right.
like these products that people don't necessarily feel like are as sexy. Now, every product can be made to look real sexy,
Sure.
but I think like that's sometimes the disconnect. So
Right.
what do they do?
Get an online presence. So they need to be able to market themselves online, right? And like you said, there's a need, there's a person for every product, whatever. It doesn't matter how sexy it is. I mean, people need microphones, radio shows need microphones, right? Like there's somebody for something. But just having your brick and mortar, but like I said, having an Instagram page, having a Facebook page, like something where people outside of your reach that may not even ever come to that area where you're at, or may not even ever think to just visit, but then they may see something that's like, oh, you know what, actually I do need that in my life. You know what I mean? Like just having that online presence is so important. I'm just gonna keep saying that, because like I said, whether you're brick and mortar, whether you're just like online based or whatever, having someone, or having yourself, if you're the owner, have that Instagram page or have that Facebook page, Twitter, whatever. There's so many different social media platforms. Having that and just putting yourself out there and letting people know, like, hey, we're here. Like, making yourself aware is important.
Do you need to have all of the platforms?
No. Oh gosh, no.
Oh, why you say it with so much
No.
enthusiasm?
No, well, because that's like the number one question that I get is like, how many platforms should I be on? Like, should I be on this many? And I'm like, no. That's going back to like what you were asking about the focus, right? So on social media, it's hard. Like Instagram and Facebook make it easy because you can cross post, right? You
Mhm.
can you can post from Instagram to Facebook, but on other platforms, it's hard. And so like you're trying to create content, which every social media platform like delivers content in a different way, right?
Right.
TikTok is video based. Facebook is a lot of words, but also pictures. Instagram is a lot of pictures, but also words. Like it's all different. And so having to spread your content over multiple platforms is just too time consuming. Like unless you have a team or somebody to do that for you, you shouldn't be trying to do that yourself. I would say like at the most, like focus on 2. I think that's the most that people can do. Is focus on 2.
So then how do you do it? If you're doing 7 clients
Yeah.
and you're saying it's too much for one person, but you're a solopreneur who also
Right.
has multiple other businesses, how do you do it?
So I only do one platform for my clients. I do
Okay.
Instagram. And there's a lot of different like websites and resources and platforms that allow you to do like multi-posting across like different levels, right? I honestly do a lot of my work on my phone. So I have like all of my clients' Instagrams logged into my phone. And if you have more than one Instagram, you can see like there's a button that you can, go to like that next person's Instagram or like that other page or whatever. So I do a lot of it off of my phone, but I also use scheduling apps. So I'll take a day and schedule out all their content on Planoly, which allows you to schedule and you can post at a certain time too. Like you can have it post for you at a certain time. So really the thing that I'm essentially doing, I mean, I'm doing all of that too, but like the thing that essentially is like having me show up 5 days a week for my clients is the engagement part. Right. And so that's like going out and doing the targeted outreach to their ideal audience so they can make themselves more aware of who they are. But yeah, I'm not saying it's easy.
Oh, definitely
Right?
not. Running a business is never easy.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying like having like multiple clients that I'm doing this for is easy, but honestly, like the planning aspect makes it easier. Like just taking a day or taking the weekend or whatever and just planning out all of the content for that week or for the month even sometimes. And then all you're focusing on really is the engagement part.
Yeah, I think the thing I take away from that is we are capable as humans of much more than we expect and much more than we think we are.
Absolutely.
Especially if we plan.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
we have to get to a point in our lives where like we're being more proactive than reactive because it's like every time something pops up and it's like, yeah, you want to attend to it in that moment. But if you
Right.
tend to it in that moment and it disrupts all of the other things that need to flow, then you're actually wasting time,
Yep.
energy, money, like all of these things. And
Yep.
I feel like a lot of times when you think about being an entrepreneur, people are thinking, "Oh man, you're just going to get out here and spread yourself thin," and some people do, especially if you're doing it by yourself. But
Absolutely.
it's definitely one of those things you got to learn how to work smarter and not harder.
Absolutely.
And planning is critical. What
It's
you got
so
to say,
critical.
John?
No, I just that's kind of like what I base my whole approach on is being as efficient as possible. When you're as you enter into this field of entrepreneurship, there's a lot of time that you have to spend figuring it out. But in that figuring it out, like as a part of becoming an expert in your field, I also like to like figure out what are the best systems, what are the best ways that I can go about it, what works for me. Really understanding and knowing yourself is crucial to your success because let's talk about real estate. When you're a real estate agent, when you're an investor, there's podcasts, books, and everything telling you how to do it. What's the best way to go about it? This is how you achieve maximum results. But is that what works best for you? So, thinking about yourself, your personality, yeah, there are certain things where it's like you don't have to recreate the wheel. You can kind of just go ahead and do that. But I think that understanding like, okay, if I do it like this for myself, I know that I'll be a little bit more successful because this is my preference. So, I mean, working smarter, not harder is important because there's plenty of days where I might be busy, but am I really getting anything done?
I like what you said about preference. Like one thing that I always see John do often is if something comes up, he'll put it right in his phone. He'll be like, "Hey Siri, remind me to do this. Hey Siri, remind me to do this." And I think it's so critical because it's like that's his preference for how to remember what he has to do.
Right.
And like when I get home and I think about the things that I have to do, I always think about like the things that impacted me most that day. And I'm like, okay, these are the things emotionally that move me most. And so like, these are my priorities. Or I'll think about these are the things that other people responded to most that day. So I'm like, let me make sure I follow up on these things.
Right.
And so like I have a rhyme and reason to the way that I produce through life, and I know that John does too. But the number one thing that you'll know about us right away is that we do not do things the same way. And I think every entrepreneur has to figure out like what is their preference that they can be consistent at
Yes.
in order to like be successful in what they're doing.
Absolutely.
And part of me thinks about that with social media as well. It's like social media, like, yes, you want to be present, and yes, there are probably certain strategies that you can do, but still you have to do what works best for you if you're going to be consistent.
Absolutely. Yes. Consistency is like so critical. Like my method of madness is I write down a lot of stuff. There's something about like touching pen to paper that it just resonates with me. So I have like a dry erase board. I have like my notepad, and I do like a lot of task lists. Like I'm very task oriented. So now I've started prioritizing like what's the most important to like what's the least important to get the things done that I know I need to get done, prior to. But yeah, consistency like on social media is so important. So I tell people like, I used to preach, let me say this. I used to preach like show up once a day, right? Like I feel like anybody can show up once a day. And it's not necessarily like you manually showing up, but like if you can plan to show up once a day. So like if you take a day, 5 hours, give yourself 5 hours if you have it to just plan out for the week, like your posts, your content or whatever. And it's a lot of mind mapping involved with that too, I'll say. But if you could show up once a day, like for your audience, that's how you build the know, like, and trust factor, right? And if you want sales, if you want paying clients or customers, they need to know you, they need to like you, and they need to trust you. And so showing up once a day allows them to see like, oh, you know what? Like I can rely on that person because they're showing up, they're giving me value, they're responding to my comments, like, and it makes your audience feel like, again, like, like, and trust them.
And so much of it is subconscious.
Absolutely.
Like they don't even know that they don't trust you until they're like, what's the last, you know what? 2 years ago, that's what you was doing. You still doing that? And it's like, no, I've grown so much since then. It's like, have you? Because I haven't got no updates.
Yeah, no, for real.
Right.
I think it's subconscious because it's like you can think about just Instagram and Facebook. Like when you see certain people's story, you're like, they ain't talking about nothing.
Right.
Right.
But there's some people that you always want to see what they have going on because they're delivering some consistency, some type of entertainment, something that you feel like you're going to respond well to. So.
Absolutely.
I tell you what, like there was this time in my life where I was taking a break from posting on social media, but I found that I would get like real social media happy whenever I was having a good time on the weekend. And I would go home to St. Louis and all of my cousins would be like, yo, you be lit every weekend. And I'm just thinking to myself, I be going out like once a month, like not that often, but it was the only time if someone see me on social media, that's what I was doing.
Yeah.
I was like, like, you start realizing real quick, it's like no matter what you're doing, people will feel informed of your life based off of what they see you have going
that's
on.
it. And they're gonna assume that's all you doing, know?
Exactly.
Yeah, whatever you're putting on there, they will definitely think that's all you do.
That's all you do, right? I didn't know you did all these things.
Right.
Like, why would you?
Right.
And let's just talk about how like social media gives people such almost like this obligation that like they have, not an obligation, almost like the right to feel like they can speak to like kind of like what's happening in your life, or if you didn't put it on social media then you should have. Or like why should how can I even believe you if you didn't post it on social media? Like, is it really that bad? Because if it was really that bad, you would have posted about it.
Yeah, I'll never forget when one of my friends, now frat brother, told me, he's like, if you didn't take a picture and post it, it didn't happen.
Yeah, I hear that too.
It's like, but no, it did though.
Can't stand it. Can't stand it. Like, when do you just get to live? It's almost like if you don't live digitally, then you're not.
Right. Yeah, and it's tiring too. Like I had to take a break during COVID because I just had like a mental like breakdown, and I was like, I just need to get off of social media. And I had a lot of people that were like checking on me or whatever because they knew me to be on social media like every day, and they were like checking on me and stuff like that. And it's like, I just want to be able to live in the moment and not have to feel like I got to take a picture to put it out there for other people to see. And that's like so important, like that balance of, especially like if you're a content creator, influencer, or you're just like on social media in general, like the balance of, let me keep some things to myself and be okay with it. Not everybody has to see everything that I do, right? That validation is like, it's
Toxic.
very toxic.
I'm
like,
I'm
I
like,
was gonna say sickening, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
toxic.
it's toxic is what it is.
Absolutely,
Man.
yeah.
It's crazy. Like this past month, I feel like so much has been going on, and I feel like I've been very involved just outside.
Mhm.
And I have not really been doing a great job of posting. I have not been documenting it. And a part of me is like, is this a good thing or a bad thing?
Are there pictures in your phone, or you
there's
just haven't put it in
plenty pictures on my phone, videos, all type of memories.
Yeah.
But I haven't necessarily shared them with the world just
Yeah.
yet, And a part of me is like, should I post these? Should I do one big photo? Like, should I do one big photo dump, or should I
Right.
just hold on? I mean, and then at the same time, what do I want to be known for? Like, if you are seeing me on Facebook, Instagram, like you see, like trying to put out positive content in terms of this radio show, real
Right.
estate, do I want to show that I'm just doing all these different other things that may or may
Yeah.
not be productive at all times?
Yeah.
So it's just something to think about. But there is a big relief in being able to be in the moment,
Sure.
because that was one thing about myself that I'd be like, I really got to just take time to just be here,
Right.
really think about where I am, and like not necessarily have the stress or anxiety of like, oh, I gotta get a good picture,
Right? Yeah.
No,
That's
definitely.
so true. Yeah. And then, so you said something, and what I tell a lot of people is like, your social media, if you're a business or brand, like your social media is for your audience, right? If you just want a personal page where you just kind of like dump like what you like and what you do, that's cool. Like, but your social media is like for your audience. So like as a business or brand, you got to think about like, okay, does this align with like my messaging, like my identity, because obviously we all do extracurricular activities that may not, on a professional level, like may not go along with like your brand identity. Like, I mean, we all do. So I have like tons of stuff in my social media that I'm like, that don't meet my aesthetic. That don't even go with my brand. Like, and I'll dump it in my stories. Honestly, like I look at stories as like the dump to put the things that you don't want like necessarily like on your feed, because that's going to go away in 24 hours anyway. So just put the stuff that you don't want to like stay on there, like in your stories, if you really truly want to let that stuff go. But yeah, like on your, I mean, yeah. So that's what I tell people, like you got to think about that. Like your page is like for your audience and what they now know you for, what they look to you for. And it may not necessarily be the things that we like to post or want to post or things like that too. So
I do want to commend you, Britt, on your social media. From what I've seen, at least just on Facebook, you have a very positive vibe, very energetic, very freeing and peaceful. So I gotta commend you on that.
Thanks.
And just from seeing like the content that you post, I'm like, before I met you, I was like, she seems like a really dope person. Like you seem real cool, and she's definitely somebody I would look to if I wanted to do some type of business. And we did connect on that, So yeah, I gotta commend you.
And that's like the thing, right? Like you have to. I think about like my social media is like somebody's coming to my social media because they may not be getting fed today, like in a sense of something positive or of some value that can like help them or benefit them in like their life, or like inspiration or things like that. Like that's pretty much like what my Facebook page has been known for, is like positivity, inspiration, motivation. And so I know if I did anything outside of that, right? Like if I posted anything like emotional rants or like, I mean, I'm normal, I'm human. Like we're going to go have like bad days, but there are people that will post like their bad days, and it's like, why are you feeding people that energy
like,
today?
Tone it down.
Yeah,
Go
like,
talk to somebody.
Oh my gosh, and it's just a validation point. It's like misery loves company too. But I'm just like, I think about the person that's coming to my page looking for a source of inspiration or motivation because they need it. Like in that time, they need it that day. And so I just have to be very, very strict. Like I don't talk about religion. I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about any of those sensitive subjects. I just positivity. I just want positive vibes all day. So
I love it.
Well, I think it's hard to only talk about positive things often. Like I enjoy, one of the things I'm really passionate about is like advocating for people and like agency.
Yeah.
And so I'm always talking about whether it's like awareness of myself or awareness of someone else, or like how someone could like take this life lesson and like you really utilize it in their life to like explore something different. Like I love those things. What I find to be very interesting though, at least in my line of work, or just in being not just like a digital influencer, but like an influencer in real life,
right?
Where people are looking to you to see like what you agree with, what you don't.
Yes.
I find it to be like it just really kills me that because I have a brand, being able to be my brand and a full person like can't coexist.
I know, right?
And it's
Absolutely.
like I'm the person that if I say something that's like it's inspirational, but it kind of has a twist on it, people will start sending me emails or text
Oh,
messages
wow.
to my phone and be like, I'm just checking on you. I'm just
Oh,
checking on
wow.
you. I'm just checking on you. And it's just
Yeah.
like, couldn't be human today. And it's
Right.
like you don't want to build your brand around like being like extra human and dynamic all the time
Right.
with like super strong feelings about everything.
Sure.
But it's just like this is why I said it could be a little toxic, not like toxic in the most in the worst way, but like you definitely have to be mindful of it
Very much
because
so.
it can silence you, or it can give you this filter that like people are judging you, or it can give you this idea that like people actually care about you on a personal level, to the point where it dictates how you live your life.
Yes.
It's like people want to be informed,
Right.
but a lot of times when you think about how people respond to you on social media, you just feel like people are so invested in your story, and that's not always the most healthy thing
Right.
for you to live in that way. You talked about taking a break on social media, and so sometimes people come to my page and they'll be like, oh my gosh, you have all these followers. It's like, yeah, I built that following in 2015. When I got off of social media, I thought it was going to be a month, and it turned into like 4 years.
Wow.
And now the biggest thing that I find myself struggling with is like analysis paralysis. Like, how do I want to integrate back onto social media in a daily way? And what is it that I'm going to be talking about every
Right.
single day,
Right.
to the point where I don't feel the need to be giving rants about what happened at work yesterday.
Yeah.
Because if I post in the moment every single day, we might we might have some problems. Like I want to be consistently positive, but I think that's kind of what John has said too. It's like you get to this point where it's like, what do you post? Should I be posting this? I got all these things in my phone. What if they don't fall in line with
Right.
the brand that I want to be given? What if someone's going to think like I'm too friendly and not about work? You got all these
Right.
thoughts. And then you might also end up like John and don't post nothing. So how do you
Man.
address the analysis paralysis?
I think a lot of people will like. So I heard this quote. It said, "Perfectionism is actually procrastination," right? And I feel like a lot of people want to show up as this like perfect person, like either it's this way or this way, like these very cookie cutter forms of a person. And I'm just like, show up as like your authentic self. If that means you're having bad days, like I would tell my audience, like, yo, like I haven't been here, but this is why. And sharing that vulnerable part, like I'm very secure in being vulnerable with my audience and letting them know like what's going on in my day to day. If it's not even about my brand, I still tie it into it. Like, so entrepreneurship, right? We know the struggles, like it's always just something every day, it seems like. And so I'll tell them like, hey, I was having a bad day. This is why, this was the story. But the lesson that I learned was, right. And I just kind of tie it back into like something that they can gain from it rather than just like me ranting, like, and just spilling out emotionally without them gaining something from it. I don't want them to take my energy and then they're fed with like this negative energy and I'm like not giving them anything to kind of bring it all in. But I think for like you and like what you were talking about, just kind of like with all of these thoughts of like which angle, like which direction, like what do I want to do, what do I want to post. I think it's just about figuring out like what do you want to be known for, right? Like I was telling John the other day, I was like, when you think about like when you post your content, and content is anything that you put out there, think about like what do you want to be known for? What do you want my audience to gain from me? And like how am I benefiting or impacting my audience? And with like your emotional rants that you have like on a day-to-day basis, like again, like just tie it in with the message of the day. Like, and my lesson that I learned today is, and what I want to give to you is, right? And it's okay to have emotional rants.
No, I think actually everyone on social media needs to listen to that point. Like, have a point when you make a rant.
Yeah.
Like I think the most frustrating thing is when you see someone posting something and you be like, but what was the point?
Yeah.
What was the point?
Yeah, some people just really need to be
Absolutely.
heard. Some people really are out here like they might not have anybody to share that with. Because I see some people post things and I'm like, bro, that was unnecessary.
You know why? The most toxic question is that little faded question on the Facebook post thing. It says, "What are you thinking today?" And they will literally take. I feel like people like literally take that
What's
very
on your
literal.
mind?
Yeah, what's on your mind?
Yeah.
And they'll take it literally and just dump it. And I'm like,
Yeah, there was a lot of people that was losing friends during the election. You know, there was a lot of people that was wilding out. It's like, bro, did you really? That's how you feel? So,
oh my god,
and you feel comfortable just broadcasting that energy to hundreds, if not thousands of people.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm getting anxiety just thinking about
right?
some of the
Because I
stuff
was like, I
read.
can't even
Like,
read my timeline. Like, it was like, I'm like, you know what?
I know.
Y'all are tripping. Yeah.
you know what that makes me think of? Not just the election, but like when crazy things happen socially,
Absolutely.
like social justice.
Yeah, you find out where people stand. You
Yes.
find out where people stand.
Absolutely.
You know, it's interesting to kind of see like I guess social media has definitely created a dynamic where people really can express themselves. You know, I
Yes.
feel like it puts everybody on an even platform, and you can really just let the world have it. You know, which can be a good or a bad thing.
Absolutely. There's some people that aren't comfortable or don't have like that safe space, and they feel like social media is, when really it's not the safest space.
It is not.
Yeah.
Especially when people like go back to a tweet from 5 years ago and be like, remember when you said so?
You better stand by what you
We
said.
might have to rethink this position we just gave you.
Oh man, I think I truly know that we could talk about social media forever, because it's the one thing in life that I think really does kind of connect us all.
Absolutely,
you know, for the most part, it does.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of thinking about that, what are a few best practices that you feel like everyone should know, whether you're an individual or whether you are a business?
So I always tell people to drive the value, right? Like on social media, you should drive the value. What I mean by that is posting with intention. So people get on social media for 4 motivations: educating, or to be educated, to be inspired, to be entertained, or to be connected. Because social media, right? We're here to connect. And so if you think about people, and those are the 4 motivations as to why they get on, you want to make sure that your content is speaking to one of those. So like my messaging for my personal brand is like inspiration, connecting, and educating. That's what I love to do. It's some form of entertainment just because of who I am and like my personality and how I speak to my audience. But the entertainment, like there's crazy memes and videos and stuff like that. Like they're obviously here for, to entertain people, but definitely drive the value, like by posting with intention. There's people that I feel like there's no real intention behind what they post, and so it's either looked over or it's not getting the response that they want, and it's like, but were you like, what was your intention behind it? Like I look at a lot of people's posts now knowing that, and I'm like, which one were you trying to do? Because it's not, I don't know. So having that intention behind like whatever it is you post, whether you're personal or a business, is like super important, because that's going to get you the response that you want. Like that's what your audience is going to know you for. They're going to look to you for. So that's number 1. But 2, just showing up every day as your authentic self. There's like so much going on that people get sidetracked looking at other people and what's working for them, that they'll try and mimic that. And it's like, but is that authentic to you?
Mm-hmm.
And so just being your authentic self, because I always say like your vibe is going to attract your tribe. Like if it's for them, they're going to respond to it. Like that's your tribe, but you're not going to be for everybody, and be okay with that.
Yeah.
So definitely those 2 things. So
yeah,
those are 2 nuggets right there.
I like that. I think that's important to think about. Like, decide. Like, or not even decide. Just be yourself.
Absolutely.
Just kind of convey the message that is true to you.
Yeah, it's so important. Like I said, it's hard to get caught up in like seeing things that like go viral, or it's like seeing like what is working for somebody else, and then you're like, oh, but I want to do that too. I want to mimic that too, because I want the same results. I want the same validation. But it's like, honestly, if you go against the grain, that's what's going to get you your valid, because you're going to stand out, right? Yeah. You're going to stand out. It's going to look different than what other people are doing. So, yeah, that authenticity is like everything.
And folks, that's not just social media. That's in life.
Please, yeah.
Just be yourself.
Let's carry it over to real life.
Yeah, please, please, please.
Yeah.
Man, Britt, this has been good.
Yeah.
This has been good.
Good dialogue.
Absolutely. I think that, social media is so important. Just the web, just understanding how to utilize it and apply it to yourself, your business, to anything. I think it's integral into your success. So we need more Britt. We need more brand management. We need all of those things. And we're looking to collab with you a little bit too. So for sure.
Definitely want to get y'all's radio show off and popping. Everybody needs to hear about it, not just Tulsa.
We about to be
For
nationally
real.
syndicated.
I need
just be on the
that.
lookout.
Yes,
For
it's so
sure.
needed.
For sure.
Yes.
So, is there anything else that's on your heart that you want to share with the people? Any more tidbits?
I'm trying to think.
And it doesn't have to be social media related.
Yeah.
Just your authentic self.
No, I just want to tell everybody, like, don't be afraid to go for your dreams. Like, it is so important to have something for yourself. Like I said, it's cool to have a job, but I feel like everybody should own something. Be an entrepreneur, like, make money off of your passions. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so important. So I really preach about entrepreneurship, but mindset is like everything. Before entrepreneurship, it's the mindset aspect. So be sure you're reading and doing your personal development, because there is a wealth of knowledge in books that, I mean, we pay pennies on the dollar for, and you can literally come out millionaires, billionaires, So personal development is so key. I would not be able to talk to you guys the way that I do without it. So definitely personal development. And a good book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'm going to say that.
Dale Carnegie.
Yeah, that's like one of my favorite books. So what's your favorite book, Ciore? Or I said Kiori, sorry.
My favorite book has to be right now. I don't know. I'm always thinking about like the book that I'm reading at the moment.
Okay, what are you reading?
And right now I'm reading Boundaries for Leaders, but I read Boundaries like for your personal self, and I felt like it was a game changer. Like I was becoming a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And when I say becoming, it was like I was improving in a lot of areas, and I have been doing the work in therapy, and I have been trying to like bring it all together.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure how, because it's like I want to be my authentic self, and I want to show up for people, and I want to do my best and over here, and I want to start saying no to those things. And it's just like, but trying to balance them all at once, it just got a little overwhelming. And you go and you read this book, Boundaries, and they just literally tell you how all of those things can exist and be true at the same time. And it was just like light bulb. And so,
So is it different books for the boundaries? Like you said, there was boundaries for your personal self, but boundaries for...
Yeah, so I actually read Boundaries first.
Okay.
And now, crazy enough, I love it so much. My leadership team at work is reading Boundaries for Leaders, because that's how transformative it is.
I'm going to look that up. I'm always looking for good book recommendations.
Oh, you must.
You said it was a game changer. I gotta check it out.
A game
Who is it by?
changer.
Do you know?
I want to say it's Henry Ford. Who is it by? Do you remember?
I haven't gotten a chance to dip into it yet.
I'm going to look it up.
I'm going to tell you who it's by.
John, what's your book?
Well, right now I'm reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Quintessential.
Yeah, so it's
Henry
one of the
Cloud.
Henry Cloud. Yeah,
Okay,
Dr.
yeah,
Henry
I'm gonna
Cloud.
look
Yeah,
this
I read a book.
Yep.
Okay.
I read a book by Dr. Henry Cloud, Integrity. It's pretty good. Yeah, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. I'm putting my own little spin on it. John's version is called Think and Grow Wealthy. So
they have a black version.
They do. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, we actually had the gentleman that was the author of the Black Think and Grow Rich.
Mm-hmm.
He came to speak at one of our conferences, and it was pretty dope. So
I'm gonna chop that up next time. I need to dissect that, because the book is really inspirational.
Absolutely.
It's so just a little background on the book. It was inspired by, so Napoleon Hill was pretty much an apprentice. He was given a task. Was it by Dale Carnegie? But he was given a task to pretty much interview like the world's wealthiest people. Going into it, he was asked, are you willing to dedicate the next 20 years of your life to solving this mystery of how to become wealthy?
Yeah.
He said yes. He was like, when you go into this, understand that it's going to take time, it's going to be difficult, but you will help hundreds if not thousands of people by doing this, and then write about it.
Right.
So this story is kind of just a collection of like what he learned, those different mindsets, the skills to really just implement, put it into a book, and it's responsible for to making hundreds if not thousands of people wealthy. So like it's a book that I feel like anybody should read. I got to dip into the black version for sure. But I was reading it last week, and it just inspired me to like really just get out all the things that I had in my mind, whiteboard them, do a little mind mapping, and just get some more clarity, as to how am I really going to achieve this goal that I have in my mind, which is becoming extremely wealthy.
Right.
And not just because I want to become wealthy, y'all, but it's because, blessed to be a blessing. I truly believe that I want to use that wealth, those resources to give to others.
All about generosity.
All about philanthropy and really just trying to be that person in my family that's contributing to the growth and the progression. So
Love it.
um
Yeah, after that one, you got to read The Science of Getting Rich.
absolutely. We need to start like a book club. We really need to
Oh,
get
that'd
that
be dope.
going, a little
Oh, like
stimulus
a
book
book.
club.
Oh, like a book segment, like y'all like.
Actually,
we've done
Oh,
it
you
before.
did?
We've
We-
done it before.
really?
Yeah,
We've done it. We did it.
Yeah, that would be
yeah. We
dope.
had a segment on the 7 habits of highly effective
Oh,
people.
yes.
Yeah.
Good
So
book. Good
we're
book.
gonna have to dip into that a little bit more.
Absolutely.
But yeah, stay on the lookout.
Yeah.
Well, Britt, we've enjoyed you.
I've enjoyed you guys.
Thank you.
Yes.
Tell people how they can contact you.
Sure. So my Instagram is Branding with Britt, and that's Britt with 2 T's. My website, brandingwithbritt.com. And then you can find me on Facebook at Britt Parrish, BrittParrish.
Did
Love
you say
it.
your Instagram?
Yes.
Did I miss it?
Branding with Britt.
Oh, I
Yeah.
was like, what?
Branding with Britt with 2 T's.
Did you know that, John? Is that why we named the show that?
Yes. Yep. It was intentional.
Yeah, I'm like, how did you? Yeah, I wonder how did you know?
I went on your page.
Oh,
I was
okay.
stalking you for a few hours.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know. I have a Facebook page, Branding with Britt, too.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So I saw it on there. I was like, what better thing to name the show than
Yeah.
that? You know?
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
I saw the wordplay.
Yeah.
I was one.
It's
Yeah.
a little something, a little
But
foreshadowing.
no, I thank you guys. Y'all are dope. Y'all, please continue to keep this up because this is so needed. And I want to get y'all national. I really do. I want to tell everybody about y'all. I really do.
I appreciate
It's
it.
a cool. Yeah, this is cool. And the vibe. I wish they could see the vibe.
Oh, they can. They can.
Oh, can they see the
It's on
vibe?
Facebook. It's on Facebook. It's being recorded.
Oh, yeah.
They can see that little, the little cheetah pillow behind you and all that.
They sure can.
Oh my god.
It's real spicy in here, y'all. It's a lot of culture in the studio. So
Yes, it's so dope.
yeah. For
Well, I
sure.
think if there's nothing else that y'all take away from today's show, but y'all should be taking a lot away from today's show, is every time you post on social media, you want to make sure that you're staying in one of the 4 lanes, and that was inspiration, education, and entertainment, and connection.
Oh,
So
I told
I've
y'all
had
Ciore
some-
smart.
did you write that down?
No,
Are you serious?
it's relevant information.
That was so
It makes sense to
good.
me.
I
I
love
hope it makes sense
that.
to the rest of y'all listening.
Right.
Bro was trying to put y'all on some game.
Right.
All right, John.
Yes, love it.
I love it. I love it. So I just want to end y'all with some continued inspiration. It's a little something from Asahi Pompey. Again, I hope I pronounced her name correctly. She is the president of Goldman Sachs Foundation, global head of corporate engagement with Goldman Sachs, and she is a Black woman, y'all. So doing big things. So this is what Ms. Pompey has to say. Entrepreneurship is about demanding a stake in your own future and doing something about it. Entrepreneurs are doers who may fall 7 times but stand up 8. So there's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of that message, a little bit of that story, and what we were talking about today. But just make sure that you are really thinking about what you're passionate about and doing something about it, pursuing it. If you feel like if you're passionate about social media and helping others and being the change that you want to see, then go pursue that. But make sure that whatever you do, it's true to yourself, it's genuine, and you're following your dreams. So here on the Stimulus, we aim to encourage, inspire, empower, and we of course love to advocate for others. So thank you all for joining in with us. We appreciate you, we love you, and until next time, we'll see y'all later. Much love.